South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rockin' dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grand View Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grand View Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grand View Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Welcome in. Good morning. It's Sports by the Book here at the South Point studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White, Kenny White. We're all here on a Wednesday. I had to check what day of the week it was momentarily there. Good morning, guys.
Hey, they all blend together, Jeff.
I guess so. We're almost at the end of May. It's kind of crazy, as we talked about yesterday. We got to get right into it because there's a ton of 10 a.m. baseball here on the West Coast today. One game got even moved into that time slot, so we got to get to it right out of the chute. And we'll start in Tampa here today with the first of the rotation number order day games. And that's going to be the Rays and the Twins rubber match in this one down in old Tampa. Twins get a 4-2 victory yesterday. Game goes under the total. And today we get a pretty good pitching matchup. Jorge Lopez against Drew Rasmussen here. Rasmussen -1, or excuse me, I should say. Rasmussen is a -125 favorite. My notes got backwards in front of me. Twins open a favorite. Tampa bet to a favorite here, Alex.
Already bet this one under first 5, going under 4 here at -105. I think that's a good price. Of course, the ballpark does scare me and a day game, but I think both of these pitchers have been fantastic. Looking at Pablo Lopez has not given up. Well, he gave up more than 2 in just one of his last 5, and that was against San Francisco and the Giants. And then on the other side, we're Drew Rasmussen. He's coming off of 2 no runs given up in 6 innings pitched against Toronto and Miami. So under for me, just relying on the starting pitchers here.
The weather gets warm, Alex. The ball's going to carry there today. So if these guys put the bats on the ball, now sometimes, you still have to hit it, and both pitchers are outstanding. This is probably the best pitching matchup of the entire day. 2 guys with a combined ERA of 2.45. So I made the total 8 before factoring in the weather. I got to factor in 2 great pitchers. I would adjust it down to 7. 2 runs for the Heat. I'd make it 9. So I don't really want to bet over with these 2 guys, but I don't know if there's any value betting under.
Staying off completely here. Still think these teams are pretty even, to be totally honest with both of you. So staying off 8-125, about to get going in Tampa. Another game about to get going in Cleveland. Dodgers go for the sweep against the Guardians. It's Kershaw and Allard, your pitching matchup here. Kershaw is a -165 favorite. This game has been a monster mover. 35 cents worth here at the South Point towards the road team here. Open -130. Got as high as -175, so 10 cents back now. But still, Kershaw a huge favorite, only his third start of the year, minus 165, total 8.5 here.
The only way I found that you could play this is Dodgers team total over 4.5. They are just scoring runs, put up 7 in the first game, 9 in the second. Going bullpen day, I don't think they're going to have a problem putting up more runs here. Not sure what we see from Kershaw in his third start, so just wanted to avoid them winning, even though I do think that is a good price here. Normally, I would avoid the sweep, but when you get swept by teams like the Angels, you got to make some games up. So I think this can't really put too much into that here with this Dodgers team, but over 4.5 is the way I played it.
The thing about Kershaw is this guy, 2 starts now. He's such a veteran. I can see him starting to pitch a lot better, this first couple of starts. And he hasn't had a lot of innings in the last couple of years because of arm injuries, but he's still got great stuff. I'm looking to back him after a couple of more starts. I think the number's about right. I made the total 9. There's no, the weather is, in the 50s. It's kind of dreary there in Cleveland today. But the Dodgers put up runs last night. I could see him doing it again. Allard has been a guy that's been a huge disappointment, first rounder, and has just really never done anything. I think he came up with Texas. But I would lean to the Dodgers as well, but that price is spiked up so high. I might look to go first 5 innings. Is that what you said, first 5?
I'm going team total.
Oh, team total. You like team total. I might go first 5 if I may make a bet on this game, but I doubt if I will, Jeff.
Going to the next one as we just keep moving here early. Tigers and Giants in Detroit. Job and Roop, your pitching matchup for this one. Bob Melvin got tossed from the game last night. Tigers so far in this series have taken the first 2 games by the exact same score of 3-1 the last 2 days. Yep. Tigers beat Logan Webb last night as well. Minus 20 on Detroit, 7.5 your total here.
Still got there with our under in the first 5 for these two. Was a little scary there. I lean to the Giants, trying to avoid the sweep here, but really not a big enough difference. Even money, little tempting. I mean, I like the way both of them are playing. I think both pitchers are decent enough, but I didn't find anything in this one that I loved.
Yeah, my numbers were right there too on this one. Made Job $1.22 and 8. Again, weather kind of the same as Cleveland today. Mid to high 50s, humid, clouds. Just a dreary day. They'll get the game in. Job's a first round guy. He hasn't really shown the kind of stuff I think he can flash, at one point. This team's just got such a good rotation. I'll be rooting for the Tigers, want them to keep winning as many games as they possibly can, but my numbers are right there, so another pass.
Next up, we go to Milwaukee. It's been a bad week for the Red Sox so far. Christian Yelich walked them off in extra innings with a salami. To take the first 2 games of the series for the Brew Crew, 5-1 last night, even with extra innings, no sweat on that under for the Brewers and the Sox. It's Bayo, it's Peralta. Peralta's a minus 50 favorite with a total of 7.5.
Crazy. That was Yelich's first walk-off home run, and it was a grand slam. I would have assumed he already had one. But I like the Red Sox in this spot, trying to avoid the sweep. I think this number's gotten a little out of hand here, minus 150 for the Brewers. I know they are playing much better, but I think Brian Bayo is better than we have seen from him. So I expect to see this kind of turn around. One really bad start against the Braves, and that was at home. Looking at his road games, pretty decent. 2 earned runs in 4 2/3 against the Tigers. Good lineup there. So it's a lean to the dog in this one.
Yeah, I hope he can figure it out soon, Bayo. Yeah, I really like this guy. I think he's got very good stuff. What he showed last year, the command just hasn't been there all year. 5 walks per 9 innings. However, his last start, he did only walk 1 Oriole in 4 innings. So maybe he's starting to find that command a little bit. Really, I know what I'm going to get on the other side. Trying to think of the name. I pulled the sheet up. Freddie Peralta. Freddie Peralta is going to, he's going to give a solid outing. He's a 5 to 6 inning guy that's going to give up 1 or 2 runs. So I like under here. The roof will be closed because it's dreary weather in that part of the country. It's going to rain there today, I guess, in Milwaukee. So the roof will be closed there. So I'm under once again. I went under there yesterday, and I'll do it again.
Last one starting at 10 a.m. here. Mets and White Sox. This game moved up because of weather about to get to the New York area. It's minus 240 on Griffin Canning, who has been great to begin the year for New York. Smith on the other end for the White Sox. Mets looking to finish the sweep. It hasn't been the prettiest series for them, but they've won the first 2 games against the lowly Sox.
This is one I would like to go under in that first 5 if I can find a number there.
You can get 4.
4.
Yeah.
I like that between these two. We've talked about Shane Smith a lot and him being a good pitcher here for the White Sox. And the Mets really just aren't crushing the ball right now. So I think that is probably the best way to play this one.
I like it under. Both guys are pitching really well. Shane Smith, looking at him, 1.11 whip, hitters rating 214 against him in the last 3 starts, low xFIP. And then Griffin Canning, he's having a really nice year for the Mets, great pickup. Hitters hitting 196 against him. So, yeah, I'm going under in this game. I'm going to go under first 5 and for the full game in this one. I like it.
Well, it's about to start, right? How early are we
You got 1 minute, guys. 1 minute to get that in. So, Kenny, get on your phone if you want to.
I'm on it.
If you want to get those bets in momentarily. While Kenny's doing that, Alex, we can talk about Paul while you're both doing it. All right, then. Paul Skeens is on the bump in Arizona. This is an afternoon game here today. Gallen, the other end for Arizona. Pirates just blew up the Diamondback bullpen last night. An offense that we know in Arizona or in Pittsburgh that really is not much of anything. Put 9 on that bullpen for a 9-6 win last night in Phoenix. So rubber match here with the ace. Skeens on the bump. Gallen is at minus 135 favorite with a total of 7.5 in this one.
I think that price is a little bit too high here for Zach Gallen. And, he has been struggling to start the year. Last outing, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, 4 earned runs, and 5 2/3 against the Cardinals. That was in St. Louis, and they are very good at home. But even before that, 6 earned runs to the Rockies. So I like this game over. And I know it is Paul Skeens on the mound here for the Pirates, but if they're going to hit, and the Diamondbacks, we've been talking about their offense all year long, might just be able to get 1, 2 off of Paul Skeens here, or even their bullpen. So I think 7.5 is too low. I think over is the best way to play that game.
I'm going to look at the Pirates here and Skeens, and I think the way to go with this weak bullpen is the first 5 innings and leave it up to Skeens here. Gallen has not been Zach Gallen. There's a problem there. Does not have the same command. He's had only 3 good outings out of 11 starts. Not good for him. Just something must be wrong. Tell you that when I see stuff like this and a guy like this, we're going to find out 2 weeks from now. He's going on the 15-day or the 10-day to, give himself a rest, and maybe there might be something wrong. Who knows? But he's not pitching well. I'll take the Pirates. I think it's maybe minus a dime, somewhere in that range.
Minus 15 first
minus
5
15 for the first 5
on Skeens.
Yep.
In that first 5. All right, let's go to San Diego next. It's been a very it's been a bizarre series between the Marlins and the Padres so far. Padres come from behind both days. Yesterday it was 6-0 after the top of the first, and then San Diego comes back and wins 8-6. And not only that, how often do you see a starting pitcher give up 6 in the first inning and actually record the win, which is what Kolek did yesterday for San Diego? Yeah, a lot of fun there on that one, but an 8-6 win for San Diego. They go for the sweep this afternoon. It'll be hard in Alcantara, minus 50 on the Pods, a total of 8.5 at Petco today.
I mean, really, I just can't see any other way to play this but over again and looking for runs to be scored, especially early. We've talked about Sandy all year long and how he just doesn't have a stuff. I actually do need to give JR a shout out because he was talking about him being a ground ball pitcher and that kind of with the shift hurting him coming back now from injury, and it being more about that than even the injury. But yeah, I expect to get runs scored on both sides, but I'm not going to play it. I think that 8.5 is correct.
It's a good point. Big time ground ball pitcher, but man, he has been really bad. So Batting average, balls in place, 291. That's a little high. Left on base, only 51%. So, the ERA at 8, it's going to come down, but man, pitched 2 decent games his first 2 starts, and now he's had 8 straight below average. So I agree with you. I think over is the play, but I wouldn't mind betting the Padres in the first 5 innings and just laying a half a run there. I think I'm going to do that with Skeens as well. When that first 5, instead of laying the $1.15, I'm going to lay the half a run with Pittsburgh.
Minus a half for both, obviously. You're getting plus 10 on Pittsburgh and plus 05 on San Diego. So a pair of plus prices for those first 5 run lines here today in both of those NL games. We go to Philly next. The weather doesn't look great. There's a possibility of a postponement. These teams do play tomorrow, and also Atlanta has one more trip to Philadelphia, so they may be a little more aggressive in a potential postponement tonight because of the return trip and another game in the series tomorrow. And it's up to the Phillies before that 6:45 Eastern spot. And Zach Wheeler is the scheduled starter today. So at least keep that in your mind if you're betting this game here today. Wheeler's $1.50. Smith-Shawver, who I know Kenny likes a lot, on a bump for Atlanta. Total 7.5. Phil's won 2-0 to open this series yesterday.
I was looking at this one, first 5 minus that half a run with the home team here with Zach Wheeler, who has just been so good this year. Minus 110 on that number. I don't want to take too much from Smith-Shawver, who's just really had one bad outing in his last 5, and that was the second time Washington got to see him. But, I mean, it's really hard to bet against Zach Wheeler, and probably no Bryce Harper, who did have a scary yesterday hit by pitch, but I still think the Phillies can be leading here in the first 5 with Zach Wheeler and just his dominance. 3 starts now, no earned runs for him coming into this one. And, I mean, the Braves have seen him numerous times and still have not really been able to hit him. 291 at-bats, 206 average for them. I expect Wheeler to have a day here, too.
Yeah, Wheeler's been pitching great. It's Zach Wheeler day. When he pitches, you just bet the Phillies because that's all they do is win when he's on the mound. Probably one of the favorites to win the Cy Young Award the way he's pitching right now, and I don't see that stopping if they do get this game in, but I doubt if they do. It looks like rain all day long there, and they're talking about 1/4 of an inch and some flooding in some areas, so it probably won't get played. I'm going to pass. If I was to bet it, I'd bet the Phillies in the first 5 minus a half a run.
You right now, pricing-wise on the first 5 run line, you're getting the coin flip, minus 10 both sides. So minus 10 both sides. All right, we go to Wrigley next. The Cubs.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, the Cubs on this. It's Matthew Boyd, who's pitched pretty well so far, but he's minus 310 first 5, which is as wild of a price as I've seen on a non-elite guy in a long time. Also, the Cubs just got bet in the last 5 minutes. They're now minus 350 today as well. And again, look, Colorado stinks. We've been through it. Cubs haven't had their best offensive effort the last 2 days, but they found a way to win both games. I'm sure I'll regret this, but this would only be a Colorado first 5 bet. I mean, I'm getting a half a run at plus 150. I'm sure I'll lose, but that's a price that I just can't really pass up when, again, Boyd has pitched very well this year, but we're not talking about Garrett Crochet or Max Fried or Yamamoto or even Wheeler. We're not talking about a high-end guy. We're talking about a good number 3 starter being that big of a favorite first 5 here, Alex. And I know Gordon's been mediocre, but he's been far from the worst Rocky starters so far this year.
Hey, he's gone 6 innings in both of his starts here. Yankees just 2 earned runs in that, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. So, I mean, he does have some command there. But the other point that could help you, Jeff, is we haven't seen a lot of runs. I mean, the weather has not been good here in Chicago for scoring. So if it's going to be a low-scoring, close game, I can see making a case there for the dog and getting a half a run.
Yeah, make it all 3 of us. Same way I would go. Looking at Gordon, he's pitched 2 games, both in Colorado.
Yeah.
pitcher's ballpark, and he got into the seventh inning, I believe, in both games, and he's pitched well. He's a veteran. He's been around for a long time, and he's got very good command. He's not a strikeout guy, but he challenges hitters and goes after you. So with the weather the way it is in the 50s, wind's going to be blowing in from center field, 5 to 10, maybe, in that ballpark, it does, it's the higher number usually. So it could be 10 to 15 in from center, and we haven't seen a lot of runs. I agree. First 5 innings plus a half, plus 50. That's the way to go. That's value.
Is there a plus 1.5 in the first 5 that you have to lay?
I haven't seen one. I know, yes, a few days ago. I still think that was an error, Alex, more so than anything.
I mean, this total 7.5 on the game. Is that what it is?
Yeah, maybe that's why.
Yeah, I think they put that up by mistake. I think they put it up on mistake, and they probably didn't get betted because of the team that was involved. Even though that one with these, you didn't even need to run in that. You didn't even have to run that in that game because the Cubs won that outright, White Sox won that outright a few days ago. All right, next up, where are we going next? We're going to Houston. Day baseball, A's and Astros, McCullers and Sevy. Your pitching matchup for this one, A's have just fallen completely back to earth over the last few weeks. They get decimated yesterday in an 11-1 victory for Houston. Just a question of really what are you getting out of Lance McCullers at this point? Coming back, late start to the year for him due to injury. A little bit inconsistent. Severino's been much better away from Sacramento than he has been in Sacramento to begin the year. Right now, Stros are a $1.35 favorite with a total of 8.5 in this one.
First, I wish I could go back and bet more on the Stros from yesterday instead of betting on this one. But I think McCullers is finding his rhythm here. I mean, looking at his last start, like you would, 8 strikeouts, 3 walks, went 4 and 1/3 there, 2 earned runs against Seattle. So I think it's going to be a good pitching match at both sides. I guess I lean to the under in the first 5, but really no strong conviction here on either side. I think the Astros got bet up a little bit too high, but now we're seeing people jump back in on the Athletics, which I can understand taking that price, but nothing for me.
I like what I've seen out of Severino the last 2 games. I think he's got really good stuff. He, again, none of these guys are near midseason form. They're getting closer, and I like the last 2 starts. 1 walk, 10 strikeouts for Severino in those 2 starts. So showing the command, showing that, he's still strikeout guy and good stuff. McCullers in his 5th start now, faced 22 hitters the last outing, 19 the game before that, and struck out 8 guys. 8 of his 22 he struck out. So looks like he's found something. So I am going to go under here, first 5 innings between these 2.
First 5 under the look. Severino has been, like we talked about a little bit, much better away from Sacramento to begin this year. I'm with you guys. I'd only go under 4.5. Just again, McCullers, like you said, this is usually around the time you hit start number 5.
Yeah,
you start really getting into form, as opposed to, again, we've dealt with a small sample size with him off the significant injury, starting the season late here this year.
Really quick, our
please.
First 5 that we got in there. White Sox.
I didn't.
It's 2-0. It's 2-0 already.
2-0 White Sox.
White Sox. I saw that. I saw that jump.
Yeah.
Thank goodness I didn't get it in.
Benintendi a 2-run single right out of the chute against Griffin Canning. We go to Arlington next. Talk about not scoring runs in this series.
Yeah.
2 games, 5 combined runs between the 2 teams. Blue Jays won the opener 2-1. Rangers won yesterday 2-0. That's been it. It's been low scoring across the board in this series. Malley will go for Texas. Schultz will go for Toronto. $1.30 on the Rangers, 8.5 your total in this one. Will the ridiculously low scoring continue here today, Alex?
I really think you just go right back to it and take the under here. But what time is this game?
It's a night game.
It is a night game.
Yep, night game. 7 o'clock local.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would just go full game here in this one because don't really know what we're going to get from Schultz to start. How many? Yeah, he's just an opener. 3 innings pitch was his longest he went against Tampa Bay. Yeah, so lean to the under here, full game.
Yeah, I'm going to go first 5. I like what I've seen from Malley. He's been great 60 innings, 1.8 ERA, 1.03 whip. Hitters hitting 222 against him last 3 starts. So he's rated out extremely high. He's rated out the top 3 pitchers on the day. Noah Cameron pitched really well for the Royals. Zach Wheeler and Molly. So I'm going to go under first 5 between these two. They're both are really, can't hit water if they fell out of a boat today, Jeff.
Yeah, been brutal. We've talked about Texas again. Seager still hasn't come back yet, and their offense has gone in the toilet for the last month without Seager.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a MVP caliber player out of the line. I still would have expected more out of what they have. They have a lot of depth, but it just has not worked for Texas, languishing in third place in that AL West. We go to Anaheim next. Yankees hold on for dear life last night as Devin Williams made it interesting in the 9th, but the Yankees end up winning 3-2. Be Clark Schmidt and Yusei Kikuchi tonight in Orange County, minus 55 on the Yanks, plus 40 on the Angels, and a total of 9 here tonight at Angel Stadium, Alex.
Tough one here. I really do think we have a pretty even pitching matchup going between these two. Getting just 140 on the other side, not enough. That might be a big enough difference to actually play here on the Yankees. But yeah, I skipped over this one. I didn't have anything that really jumped out.
I think that 4-game winning streak by the Yankees, sticks out a little bit with the Angels losing 4 in a row. So I'm going to bet the hot team, go with the streak here. I think it's a good price. I'll bet the game both ways. First 5 end for the game, and I'm going to lay the run line 1/2 in the first 5, minus 1.5 for the game. Just a far better offensive team, and I think Schmidt's a better pitcher than Kikuchi. Kikuchi's got a little better numbers, but I think he's been a little lucky on the year. He's got a 1.49 whip. He's got runners on base everywhere, and a low ERA. So it does show he's lucky. XFIP over the last 3, 4.74. So, yeah, give me the Yankees again. This is a 1% bet, so this is a little bit more on this one than I'll bet 1% on the first 5, 1% for the game.
Yankees $1.55 tonight in Anaheim, looking to continue their hot play right now. Going to Baltimore next. It was a pretty classic 2025 Orioles game last night. Their bullpen coughs it up instead of their starters, really the only difference in a 7-4 loss to the Cardinals a night ago. Rubber match in this one. It'll be Povich and Michaelis. St. Louis, a dog here at plus 105, total of 8. Alex, you know my thoughts of Michaelis. Not a huge fan of him, but Povich should not be favored against a real lineup, especially a lineup that hits that even away from home is really starting to hit on the road. They're arguably the best offense in baseball, other than their division mates, the Cubs at home. I like St. Louis. I'll take a price with the Cardinals against the pitcher that I would like to go against many times, especially as a favorite.
Cardinals made my board. I'm probably going to do the same thing that you were talking about last game. Go half on each. First 5 is also plus 105, and then full game plus money too. But you're right, Michaelis I wasn't a huge fan either, but he's pitching outstanding. I mean, looking at his 5 last starts. 1 earned run in 6 innings pitched against the Diamondbacks, 0 against the Royals, 1 against Washington, 3 against Pittsburgh, and then 0 and 0 against the Reds and the Braves. So I feel confident with him going today. Do think we have the better pitcher over Cade Povich.
Povich pitched a little better his last 2 starts. Has looked better, but I do like what I've seen out of Michaelis. My numbers are saying the Cardinals should be the favorite in this matchup. I agree with you, Jeff. So give me St. Louis. They will definitely be on my board today.
Cardinals plus 105 on that one. Going to the other Missouri team, the Royals and the Reds up next. Kansas City will send Nick Cameron, who you mentioned earlier, Kenny. This is a dynamite pitching matchup with Hunter Green on the other side. Minus 15 on the Reds, 7.5. Guys, are we just looking first 5 under in this game?
Wow.
Even with it being a 3.5 in this one?
Ooh.
Yeah, I was just looking up Cameron. He has been a little lucky on the year so far, but Hunter Green has been terrific. I make this total if I take off a half run. I'm probably not, because it's such a low number in a hitter's ballpark. I mean, I need a pitcher's park, I think, for this one. But these two have pitched super, really have. Cameron, hitters hitting 133 against him in his last 3 starts. But again, he has been a little lucky. His xFIP a little bit higher, and so is Green's. Green's a 645 xFIP over his last 3 starts, so shows he's been a little lucky too. So I'm going to pass on this one.
Well, the Reds are hitting right now, and that always scares me, and that is why I didn't jump to an under here with them. But 7 runs in each of their last 2 games, and they're kind of a streaky team, and when they're playing well, you got to jump on it. I think the Reds is the correct side here. I think Hunter Green is their ace, and he's pitching like one. So that would be the way I'd play it, but I already said earlier this week I'm not betting on or against the Reds for now.
Yeah, I didn't even look at the side, but you're right. I have the Reds a lot higher, so Reds are definitely going to be on my whiteboard today. I made him $1.81, Jeff, with the Green on the mound against Cameron.
That's a pretty significant difference from that $1.15 that's out there. Reds are going for the sweep here in this series as well, so that is at least something to keep in mind.
Yep.
But again, for me, I'm in the scenario with this Red team, Alex, and you're 100% right. They're streaky as hell, and this is a team we haven't questioned the starting pitching at all, and I don't think we should have, even though with those those FIP numbers for Green, it has not been as good as the numbers may look on the surface. Just finding everything consistently at once. The bullpen, the lineup, those have been the problem areas for the Reds. And again, you're in you're in a National League that we've talked about that is loaded, in NL Central that seems to be better than we expected, because St. Louis now all of a sudden looks like a playoff caliber team as well. Got to keep pace. And the Cubs are playing the Rockies today, so you got to keep pace if you're Cincinnati. All right, one last one. The Mariners really kicked the stuffing out of the Nats last night. Tried to be as polite as I could on that one. It's Trevor Williams and George Kirby back on the bump here for Seattle. Minus 210 on the Mariners, total of 8 in this one. And again, when the Mariners hit, as we know, they're a threat to win the American League. It just, again, the home consistencies of hitting in that ballpark, which is far and away the best pitcher's park in baseball. Man,
they're hitting, they're having fun. When you talked about Evans being such a good pitcher yesterday, then I watched a lot of that game. Now he's on my radar. You were correct with him. I think George Kirby will do better. First start back, last one at Houston, got hit up 6 hits, 5 earned runs in that one, and only made it 3 and 2/3 inning. But I think the second start back, being back at home, I expect a better outing here from him. I don't love a minus 210 favorite though, so I'm just going to stay off of this one. But that would be the lean is the home team.
Yeah, I think the uncertainty, what you get out of Kirby is just a pass for me. And pitchers' ballparks, I wouldn't look to go over. These guys, Trevor Williams, I don't think a lot of him right now. I think he's probably on the wrong side of 30, and he's having a horrible year, and I don't think he has the kind of stuff that he can turn it around. But he's a veteran, and those type of guys in a good pitcher's ballpark, they can navigate through a little bit and maybe keep his team in the game. So I'm going to pass. I wish I made the total a little higher. I wish I could have an overplay, because looking at the bullpen, the Nats bullpen's so bad. They're with Williams in that bullpen. Maybe it is a Seattle bet on Seattle first 5. Laying the half run, knowing you're going to get the full complementary of at-bats. But I'm just going to pass. I think the numbers are too tight.
I will say this. Just want to throw this out there. If Aaron Judge did not exist, Cal Raleigh would have a legitimate argument for the American League MVP right now.
Yeah.
It just 19 homers already for Raleigh.
2 yesterday.
A pair yesterday. But again, we'll talk tomorrow on the show. We'll talk all the awards. Aaron Judge, unless if he gets hurt and doesn't play another game this year, pretty much at this rate, is winning the American League MVP. But got to give Raleigh his due, as he's had an incredible start to the season up there in Seattle. All right, let's take a quick break. When we get back, check in with the chat. We'll check in with the trivia question that will be on the bottom, and we have hockey and basketball to get to here on a Wednesday. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry-aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone. And if you're craving a taste of Italy, come experience delicious Italian cuisine and the attentive service at Don Vito's. Our culinary team starts with the freshest ingredients and transforms them into traditional favorites. And don't forget Italian desserts. Don Vito's. Savor the taste of Italy. Finally, if sushi is more your style, join us at the popular Zenshin Asian restaurant and sushi bar, where we're serving up the freshest sashimi, nigiri, and sushi rolls. And beyond the sushi, an exciting contemporary Asian cuisine menu, plus a variety of specialty drinks, Japanese and domestic beer, wine, and sake. Balance your hunger with Zenshin.
Welcome back in Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Kenny White's on the far side of your screen. Alex White's in the middle. I'm Jeff Parles on the other far side of your screen. Let's say hello to the chat. JR is in there. Dean's in there. Dean's not happy with the Manfred Ghost Runner still. We're stuck with it, unfortunately. And JR riding the Pirates and the Royals team total. We should just make the Royal team total the JR at this point. It feels like he's on it every single day. If you're with us, trivia question is live here today. It's a hockey question. So it's a hockey question. And speaking of hockey, we'll go to it right now. Yeah. Game 5 tonight in Raleigh. We'll start with that one, and then we'll talk about the injury that occurred last night in the West Final. But let's start with Florida and Carolina. Make sure you see what the injury reports are tonight, because Florida, again, Sam Bennett was the biggest name that was not played in Game 4. Almost felt like, I don't want to say like a load management sort of thing, up 3-0, but it kind of felt like that on the Florida end. You're up 3-0. You're more likely than not going to blow a 3-0 lead. But again, Carolina won Game 4, first conference final win in 16 tries for Carolina over their last 4 appearances. Florida's a -120 favorite here tonight at the South Point. Total 5.5. Alex, I expect Florida to wrap this thing up. And that plus 210 on the puck line, boy, Florida laying a goal and a half plus 210. It's a pretty juicy price on that one, especially where we know if the lead comes in regulation, the empty net palooza could end up happening in this game.
Definitely can. It looked like everybody practiced and skated, so I think Florida will be in full strength here. Even I can't do anything. I've got Carolina -129 at home, still giving them the proper home ice, even though Florida has been dominant in this series. So nothing for me. I don't want to jump back. I guess it is a 29-cent difference, so taking even money here with the home team is definitely the way I would play this game, but I've lost quite a bit on the Canes, so I'm kind of staying off of this rest of this series.
Yeah, I have as well, but I'm going to go back on them. I'm glutton for punishment. I hope that maybe the shutout by Anderson gets him going. These guys can stand on their head sometimes, and it changes series. We saw last year Florida had the 3-0 lead against Edmonton, and it ended up 7 games. It happens. So I'll take the home team here plus the price.
Plus, even the best number out there currently, you can get it here, you get it at the Superbook on Carolina. If this series extends, it'll go to Friday. So, look, the longer this series goes, again, Florida did, like you said, Kenny, 3-0 last year in the Cup final, did win Game 7 to not have that happen for just the second time in a Cup final ever. But we'll see. Game 5 tonight, Raleigh, Carolina back at home after, again, those first 2 home games were as bad as Carolina's played at home all season long to open up this series.
Yeah, it was.
And Colucci was on it. We talked to him Monday, and I asked him about the total and how they've all flown over. And he said Monday he thought it'd probably be a tighter, lower scoring game, and he was correct.
Only 1 goal without an empty net.
That's right.
In Game 4. The last 2 for Carolina came with Bobrovsky on the bench. Going to Dallas.
I like Maurice's comment about that. That's
And I feel like maybe the only way Carolina wins is a low-scoring game, and it might be just a correlated parlay.
I think so.
Carolina to the under.
I would agree. Well, and also, too, like I said, with the Florida puck line, if this is 2, let's say this is 2-1, 2-1 with 10 minutes to go, or even worse, potentially, for under bettors.
Yeah.
If Florida's up 3-1 with 6 minutes to go, then empty net. They're going to just keep pulling Anderson until they're down by 4, and that's that.
Right.
Desperation, of course, would play on that. All right, let's go to the other series. Edmonton took a stranglehold on the series, up 3-1, but they did lose Zach Hyman for the postseason. Took a suspect hit in that game last night, but another brilliant Skinner effort. I just continue. Amazing the turnaround for Skinner after getting benched in that first series. Totally different man since coming back, really since Game 4 of that Vegas series, other than that third period of Game 1 of this one. He's been unbelievable. Edmonton looks to wrap it tomorrow. I don't know if they'll wrap it tomorrow, and if not, they'll likely wrap it in Game 6. Oilers have only lost 1 home game in this postseason, which was the game against Vegas that Riley Smith scored with less than a second left. Really, again, an Edmonton team, they're a dog here in Game 5. We'll talk about it more tomorrow on the show, but if I probably would lean to Dallas in Game 5, been significantly better at home than on the road, but I just have a hard time seeing Edmonton dumping a home game at this rate, which they'll have one more crack in Game 6 if they don't win Game 5.
I got to agree with you there, especially how we've seen the Stars play on the road in this postseason. It has not been great. So, yeah, I would lean to them going back home, but then I do think Edmonton finishes this. Zach Hyman is a loss. I mean, going into the postseason last year, he was leading the team in goals, and not quite that this year, but he was leading the entire league in postseason hits this year. So kind of found a physical part of his game. And so it is going to be a loss, but Edmonton is a lot deeper than we have seen in the past with this team.
Should be interesting. I always say the hardest one to win is the closeout game, and that's that's what Florida's trying to do, and that's what Edmonton's trying to do. So I'm going to lean to both home teams to get this series go to at least 6 games in each one. I think that's the best way to go. Both teams have outstanding goaltenders. Both teams have been solid defensively all year long on their home ice. And hope to see it happen again for both Carolina and Dallas.
Dallas on the road this postseason, they've scored more than 2 goals twice. One of them was in that ridiculous 7-4 loss. That was the double banker goal that we saw for Colorado. Yep. But other than that, they've managed to win a game 2-1 in Colorado. Their win in Winnipeg was 3-2. Their last 4 road games, they've scored a combined 2 goals. It has been ugly away from Dallas. Again, I do like the Stars in game 5 to win and force this back north of the border. But that Edmonton at 6 at plus 220 seems pretty good to me. Even though, again, check your pricing of what a Dallas game 5 win would be with a rollover into Edmonton in game 6. See what pays better. It might actually be better on that game 6 plus 220 side when it's all said and done. All right, to the NBA we go next. We'll go to tonight first, and then we'll look at the other series. These are both 3-1s. All the series are 3-1 right now, all four of them. Oklahoma City's 8.5, 220.5 your total. This just feels like a Thunder coronation at this point in this series. Now, I'm not saying I want to lay 8.5. I'm not saying I want to do that, but Minnesota have been so bad shooting the ball in this series in Oklahoma City. They were under 33% in both of those games. OKC's just a different animal at this point from the remaining three teams, as good as Indiana may be and as well as they're playing. That looks like the likely final matchup at this rate. I don't see how Oklahoma City doesn't win the title at this rate unless if we get some injury involved. I like OKC to wrap this tonight. Not confident enough to lay that big number, though, at home, even though they have dominated both home games in this series.
Yeah, and I will just say throughout the entire postseason, the Thunder have not really been covering when they're winning on the road, but they have been covering those big numbers at home. So I think Minnesota had their chance to even up this series, their second game at home. They were very close in that one. But to your point, OKC's defense has just been so good, and they have been, really double teaming Anthony Edwards, forcing bad shots from him, and you can see it from this Timberwolves team. So it would only be a Thunder play for me, but that is a big number here in a closeout game.
I still can't get over the last game. Well, both teams were 1.33 points per possession, 100 possessions, 133 points each. It just mind-boggling that they could shoot that well against these defenses. I'm going under once again, glutton for punishment. I think that Timberwolves have got to put out a better defensive effort, and the Thunder at home, their defense is outstanding. I like the Thunder as well. Made them 11, and I don't like to lay a lot of favorites, but if I do, I'd rather lay a small favorite. But when you get into a bigger favorite like this one at 8.5, I always felt like 10 is that magic number for a coach. That they get, they're up 12, they're up timeout. We don't want this to get under 10, and I've always felt more comfortable. I would never lay 10.5 because I always feel like 10's that magic number sometimes when you got the better team. So I'm going to make a 1% play on the Thunder minus the 8.5, and I'm going to go under for probably 1.5%.
Can't blame you on that, Kenny. And again, we expect this to end. And I look at that price to win the championship right now. Thunder minus 460. In this one now. Pacers plus 450, even with a 3-1 lead on the east end of things. By the way, Pacers did take that 3-1 lead last night. Karl Anthony Towns seemed to re-aggravate his knee injury as well at the end of that game. Knicks I'm a little bit surprised the Knicks are 5 tomorrow, especially with Towns gimpy at the end of the game. Are the Knicks capable of covering 5? Sure, of course they are, but I would be very, very inclined to take 5 with Indiana. Knicks win a tight game, so be it. But Towns could barely move by the end of that game, and he has been their best player the last 2 games.
Well, and the Pacers have been very confident and played well in Madison Square Garden. I mean, came back from that 16-point deficit and won game 1 and then won game 2 pretty easily. So, yeah, I would lean to the points there in that one. Did you ever jump in with OKC when they were either even money or minus 110? I think you did to win it all.
No, I did not.
Because when we were talking about it, you were like, "That's it."
Yeah. I wanted to. I never did.
No,
so
big...
all I have is the Pacers to win the East.
Oh, that looks pretty good at the moment.
Yeah, I like it.
Looks pretty good at the moment. We'll break down that NBA game a little bit further tomorrow night or tomorrow morning on the show. Right now, again, Halliburton and SGA well on their ways to winning their conference MVPs as well. To the W real quick, guys. 1 game tonight, but we want to have the discussion because it's the first game for the Fever since Caitlin Clark has been ruled out with the leg strain. Out at least 2 weeks, will be reevaluated then. Fever are still 4 on the road in D.C. tonight against the Mystics, but guys, how much do we now devalue Indiana because of Clark's absence for the next 2 weeks?
Well, I pulled out the Fever sheet and was comparing to next man up because that's really how you want to compare the points and what they're worth. And the next girl I could see stepping up and taking her spot, I thought it was 6 points, but you said you took out even more than 6. She was worth more than that to the line.
Yeah, I took 7 points off for her because leading scorer in the team, 9 assists per game. As I said, she's the real deal. She's the favorite to win the WNBA MVP award in her second year. She's just such a great shooter and player. She does so many things right on the court. So she just such a valuable player. I just don't think they have anyone else in this lineup that's going to be able to distribute the basketball like she does. I think it's a big miss when you're missing your best shooter and who's your best distributor. That's a problem. Now, Sophie Cunningham has played better the last couple of games, but she's more of a shooter as well. So I think it's a big drop off without her. I made the game a half. I made Indiana a half and was shocked to see money for the Fever in this game.
We'll say real quick, with Clark's injury, Clark is now still the second favorite to be the MVP.
Right, Collier's
$3 favorite, minus 300 now on Collier. And that is right with the way that fee has started this season up in Minnesota. Asia Wilson's plus 750. And then the fourth favorite on FanDuel right now is Kelsey Plum at 55-1. So realistically speaking, it's a 3-horse race at most. And if Clark misses more than 2 weeks, it's maybe a 2-horse race with Wilson and Collier down the stretch in the W. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to look at the second game of the NFL season. That is 100 days away between the Chargers and the Chiefs. Whiteboards, trivia answer, all to come when we get back. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world. Our gaming amenities include over 60 table games and over 2,600 of the most popular slot and video poker machines. We have penny slots, including the popular Buffalo games, and real machines like Wheel of Fortune, Triple Sevens, and Megabucks. If you prefer video poker, try Deuces Wild, Double Double Bonus, or a variety of multi-denomination games. Or try your hand at one of the most popular casino table games in the world, Blackjack. Don't let the game intimidate you. Blackjack, also known as 21, is both easy and fun. And our dealers are always happy to assist. And the best part? Blackjack always pays 3-2. Next, check out the roulette tables. Roulette is one of the easiest casino games to learn, and so much fun to play. It's a favorite of both beginners and seasoned players. In addition to blackjack and roulette, our casino pit features over 60 popular table games like Baccarat, Pai Gow Poker, 3-Card Poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Mississippi Stud. So get out of your room and come join in the fun.
Welcome back in Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White, Kenny White. Whiteboard getting worked on at the moment. Of course, this is a good time for the voice to decide to disappear for a half second there. Trivia question here out of the gate before we get into some NFL talk and the whiteboards here for Wednesday. Which Hockey Hall of Famer and current head coach in the National Hockey League is the only player to win the Conn Smythe 3 times? And it's not a skater. It's a goaltender. Patrick Waugh is your answer. Of course, Waugh winning it north of the border with Montreal twice and then winning it with Colorado in 2001 when the Avs won their first cup. So Waugh, again, what a goaltender he was, and a little bit of a crazy person as a head coach. But hey, regardless, as trying to turn the Islanders around now. And Knicks on the board here on a Wednesday, getting the trivia question right. Look how young Patrick Waugh was in that first one. Wow. All spread apart equally as well. Ryan, is that a 6 or an 8 on the left? 6. So, yeah, 86, 93, 01. Basically all nicely, perfectly spread apart with his Conn Smites. 3 different day, huh? 3 different decades, 86, 93, 01. All right. Let's talk some football real quick, guys, before the whiteboards. You can leave them up there if you want. We'll save it as a surprise for everybody. Yesterday we did Eagles and Cowboys. Today we go to Sao Paulo, Brazil for Friday Night Football in Week 1. 100 days from today, Chiefs and Chargers. It is a pretty bad break for the Chargers that they have to play a divisional game with essentially as long a travel as the NFL has until that Australia game next year. But look, I'll just say this with the Chiefs. It's a fool's errand to bet against them long term just because of how they always get through the playoffs, betting against them in big playoff games. But they did nothing this offseason to improve their team. And look, they made the Super Bowl again. We're the first team looking to be the first team to win 3 consecutive Super Bowls, and they obviously got whipped by Philadelphia. They'll have the Week 2 matchup with the Eagles at Arrowhead in the home opener. But, look, short of 3, I'll probably be on Kansas City when this game comes around. But this year, this is the weakest roster they've had with Mahomes at quarterback going into a year. Now, that hasn't stopped them from winning divisions and getting to Super Bowls. If they're ever going to have a year where they go 11-6 or 10-7, this feels like the year that they did it. But granted, again, 2 years ago was the quote unquote weakest team they had going in, and they won the Super Bowl. So it's always a fool's errand to go against KC long term. But at least for opening night, probably will be on Kansas City laying short of a field goal if it ends up being that in a neutral site game.
Did you make a number going off of the
I did.
win totals and everything?
Kansas City win total at 11.5 here at the South Point is 68% winning percentage, which equates to 6 points on the betting line. You win by an average of 6 points, so 106. And then the Chargers, a 9.5 win season, 56%, is 2.5 points. So it's a 3.5 point difference between the two teams. Chiefs won both games last year, 2 low scoring games. So I'm not sure if I would give revenge factor or not in Week 1 because of Andy Reid's success in Week 1 with all that time to prepare. But you had Harbaugh on the other side, so I wouldn't argue the game being 3, and that's I think that's where it's going to end up. That's where it probably closes, the Chiefs -3.
I would like to take 3 with the Chargers here. I liked the Chargers last year with Harbaugh. I like what I saw from them. Now, they did kind of sneak into the playoffs and maybe could take another step back. I don't like all that travel, Jeff. They are definitely traveling the most of any team.
By a margin, too, this year.
Yep, and especially because of this international game as well. But first game, 3, keep it close or maybe even shock them and take the win here. Kind of to Jeff's point, Chiefs don't care that much early on. It's down the stretch and then through the playoffs.
I'm looking at Herbert to finally have a big season. I think he's on the verge of having his best season as a pro quarterback now, second year in the system under Harbaugh. He protected him real well last year, just 3 interceptions, 23 touchdown passes. I think you could see an easy 4,500 yards this year, 30 touchdowns, and maybe 5 INTs.
Just want to bring this up with the Chargers. You see their schedule right on you saw it a second ago. So the Chargers, forget having just being the team with the most mileage traveled this year. They're going to have the most mileage traveled in NFL history this year. 37,086 miles traveled this year. Last year, the Chargers were the 4th most traveling team in the NFL. That was 26,000 a year ago. So an extra 11,000 miles this year, where you're going to Sao Paulo, you're going to New York, you're going to Miami, you're going back to the East again. Just a ton of travel for San Diego now, or excuse me, Los Angeles,
Yeah.
mostly this Los Angeles to Sao Paulo trip, which is a bear by any stretch to kick off the season. But Kenny, you mentioned it, 2 high-end coaches in this game.
Yep.
I would argue 2 of the 4 best coaches in the NFL. So, and preparation, as we know, Harbaugh has historically great early in the season. We know Reed as well, really good early in the year as well. So, but I'm with Kenny. I think this closes 3. So if you like Kansas City betted now, this will be a good old-fashioned toggler, which I'm sure Vinny will love right out of the gate if this game lands 3 with Kansas City winning it by a field goal if that were to happen. All right. We have more football to get to tomorrow. We'll talk about some more primetime games on the show as well. We also have MLB awards on the show tomorrow, so we'll have a lot to get to with a very light baseball card on a Thursday. You see the whiteboards are ready. So we will begin today. Alex White will start us off here on a Thursday whiteboard, or excuse me, a Wednesday whiteboard edition.
All right, trying to keep it going. Good baseball day for me yesterday. I'm going with the Dodgers. Team total over 4.5. Have been scoring a lot against the Guardians. I'm going Pirates and Diamondbacks over 7.5. Zach Gallen has not been the same. Pirates offense is starting to really hit the ball. I'm going with the Cardinals plus 105 on the road. I'm going full game and first half in this one with Miles Michaelis on the bump. If played, Zach Wheeler getting the start for the Phillies. Game 2 against the Braves. I'm going to lay that half a run first 5, minus 110.
MLB 3 plays for you. Pirates first 5 innings, minus the half a run with Skeens over Gallon, plus a dime. Cardinals full game, plus 105. Reds full game, minus 115. NHL correlated parlay. I'm going to bet Carolina and under in that one. Should pay about plus 250 in that range. And then the NBA game, again, going under the 219.5 OKC and Minnesota tonight.
There we go. There are your whiteboards for a Wednesday here on Sports by the Book. We're back tomorrow. Light baseball card. We'll at least have hockey and NBA tomorrow. We may not have anything on Friday if Florida and Oklahoma City close out their series. We'll have MLB awards to talk about. We'll talk some football as well here on the show. Sports by the Book here at the South Point Studio, always streaming here at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday here on the channel. Big thanks to you guys, Alex and Kenny. Big thanks to Vince, Ryan, and Sean. As always, big thanks to you for watching us here today. We'll see you again tomorrow. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.